AITA for canceling dinner and going home over something my boyfriend's dog did. Hi. I'll preface this by saying that I, 25F, have been seeing Michael, 31 meters, for a while now. He's a really funny, a bit too sarcastic though, guy, and we pretty much get along well. We've been dating for 4 months. Michael likes the food I cook, and he wanted me to come to his house to cook him dinner and also meet his dog for the first time. I only saw him in pictures, videos. He's overprotective of him. I grabbed all I needed from the store and went over to his house. All went well. I met his dog, then we sat down to talk. Suddenly his dog started moving in a funny way. Michael was laughing while looking at me. I felt confused. I asked him what the dog was doing, and Michael said that the dog was telling him about me. I was like, okay? And then he flat out said that the dog thought I was ugly. This shocked me completely. I looked at Michael and asked if he was serious. He started explaining that his dog is like that with some people and that I shouldn't get offended over an animal's behavior. I felt horrible because I, as a person, always struggled with self-esteem and am no stranger to the word ugly. My issue wasn't with the dog but with what Michael said. It's like he was indirectly giving his opinion about my looks and using his dog as an excuse. Long story short, we had an argument and I ended up canceling dinner and going home. Michael called several times. Then when I picked up, he was lashing out the entire time, saying that I overreacted and that I cannot blame him and punish him for something his dog did. He advised me to get rid of the toxic sensitivity I have and deal with whatever insecurity I have as soon as possible, because what happened will set the tone for our relationship and eventually our marriage later. I did respond later, which caused another argument. My sister said I messed things up with my stupidity and that I should have laughed it off, but for some reason I wasn't able to. Did I overreact here? NTA. 4 months relationship. First time in his house. His dog called you ugly. And he yells at you about your future marriage. Run. Run, run. Like the wind. I have and deal with whatever insecurity I have as soon as possible. Are you kidding me? Does he really think you have a complex over what dogs think of you? Then he flat out said that the dog thought I was ugly. Does your boyfriend think he's a dog psychic? Dogs don't think of things as pretty and ugly. These are human concepts. Dogs like or don't like things. And things they don't like can generally turn to likes given time. Your boyfriend thought he would use his dog to insult you. Even if he honestly believed his dog thought you were ugly, he didn't need to tell you that. That was rude of him. And that was something that illustrates his behavior, not his dog's. I also have a dog, but I've taught my dog how it's rude to tell somebody they're ugly when they've come over and they are guests in our house. So she keeps her mouth shut. You are not ugly. Your boyfriend is ugly. His ugliness is on the inside though. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. You are far too beautiful to be with someone so ugly. NTA. NTA. The dog didn't call you ugly, he did. Also, your sister is trash. He thinks the dog is talking to him. Is it much of a loss? My cat just told me he sounds crazy. Michael called several times. Then when I picked up, he was lashing out the entire time, saying that I overreacted and that I cannot blame him and punish him for something his dog did. So, wait a minute. He's continuing to blame his dog for insulting you and is sticking to his story that his dog, not him, thinks you're ugly? This guy is just, yikes. I, personally, wouldn't marry someone who communicates by translating his dog's mean-spirited thoughts. That's a whole different level of passive aggressiveness. Wow. NTA. NTA. Dogs don't rate people's looks. This guy is doing some weird negging stuff. It's like he's trying to start breaking you down. If you already have low self-esteem, he could be an opportunist who has recognized this. And he is now going to slowly break you down until you are emotionally dependent on him. If your sister called you stupid for this, I can see you or some of your self-esteem issues came from. You did not overreact. NTA. You need to stop responding and be done with this toxic awe. He is not worth your time. Thankfully, you learned this early. By the way, if you find a future BF is a bit too sarcastic, that might mean that person is not the right fit for you, as you find them unkind but they disguise it as sarcasm. And your sister is not much better. Does she often disparage you? I think she may a factor in you struggling with your self-esteem. Do you remember that post where this guy was always telling his girlfriend that she had beau and she stank and all of that, and it turned out that he was just saying that because his dad told him it was a way to stop a woman leaving? Yeah, this is giving those vibes. He wants you to think less of yourself. Also, 4 months and you've never been to his place? What's happening there? Anyway, NTA and run. I can hear the red flags flapping in the wind from here. If he thought you were ugly, he wouldn't be dating you. People do not usually date people they think are ugly, especially given the short time frame. And I do not believe for 1 second that dogs view specific people as ugly. I imagine that we don't look dogs, which they think is weird, but I don't think they have a concept of ugly and b. Even if a dog did think you were ugly, that it could communicate it to a human, especially not your boyfriend, who seems a bit thick. NTA and everyone has already told you why. But let me add this. Say this guy was Dr. Dolittle and could talk to animals. Say his dog did tell him he thinks you're ugly. Why would he tell you this? Why would he repeat this to a person he cares about that? Who does that? Would you if the situation was reversed? Or would you make something up and have a word with your rude dog later? I can't believe I've just typed that, but you have to see that no matter what insane way you look at it, this guy is a wanker. Cut and run now. You've only lost 4 months, but you'll lose a lot more if you stay. Tell him you showed his picture to a friend's parrot and it started screaming, red flag, so you thought you better take that seriously. NTA. Even if his dog said so, which I don't buy for even a microsecond, he could have kept his mouth shut about it and not repeated it. So he talked street and blamed his dog. Not a person that I would like in my life. He advised me to get rid of the toxic sensitivity I have and deal with whatever insecurity I have as soon as possible. He is the toxic sensitivity he speaks of. Dump him and run far, far away. NTA. NTA. You need to work on your self-esteem. You reacted to a huge red flag. You did good. Why are you questioning yourself? Ditch him. And preferably tell him straight that he's a walking red flag.
Run.
Oh, he's definitely giving his opinion about your looks. Ditch him. NTA. We've been dating for a while now. We've been dating 4 months. That's not a while. You barely know this guy. When he shows you who he is, believe him. He, not the dog, insulted you and then gaslit you. And red flag that he's talking about marriage after 4 months. Why haven't you been to his house sooner? NTA. Trust your instincts and move on. This sounds like a new spin on the what? It was a joke. You can't take a joke? Method of being an ass. Your first paragraph give kind of lukewarm praise toward this person and your relationship. So I would guess that you already know in your heart whether you really want to continue with him. Edit. NTA. NTA. Dogs don't have opinions on human appearances. Dump the BF. That's pretty presumptive about getting married on a 4-month relationship. Sounds controlling. NTA. That guy is either a huge aw or literally insane. Block him and run, girl. You weren't offended by the dog's behavior. You were offended by his completely unnecessary and nasty comment on it. There's something weird going on in his relationship with his dog. You didn't overreact. You don't have toxic sensitivity, and I think the tone of your potential marriage would be him expecting you to cook for him while communicating through his dog's reactions. It doesn't sound at all enjoyable. NTA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.